Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I've got 3 topics to discuss in this very latest Moon Lambo hot jam. Now, of course, as we all know, the banker's coin, the biggest banker's coin in the entire crypto asset class, of course, is Bitcoin. Now, of course, XRP trying to play a little bit of catch up, and it's just so funny to me because I remember that as a pejorative, it was like just very negative statement back when I jumped into crypto. In 2017, all the Bitcoin maxis were calling XRP the banker's coin. And of course, what have we seen since then? We have seen the total embrace of Bitcoin by traditional finance, including banks. And now, since it's happening to Bitcoin, all of the toxic Bitcoin maximalists, those idiot sticks, they're totally for it. It's totally fine. Just forget what we said about XRP. Didn't happen, right? Now, mind you, I never actually had a problem with, people who appreciate the decentralization of a coin, using it for whatever the hell they want to, but then also, traditional finance, so on and so forth, jumping in. I've never had a problem with that. The Bitcoin maximalists did until it came to Bitcoin, and then suddenly it's not a problem. But given that I'm all for that type of activity, the first story is fantastic news so far as I'm concerned. XRP has been added by a large bank. Yes, indeed. So XRP trying to become the banker's coin that Bitcoin is. I'm hoping it can catch up. Then we have this. Expert says Ripple stablecoin launch is very close as minting activity surges. That's from the Crypto Basic. And then I want to talk a little bit about something that's not XRP specific, but absolutely will have an impact trajectory-wise as far as where XRP's go in this market cycle. And that has to do with macro stuff, including inflation. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so here we go. Here's the headline. Second largest private bank in Turkey now supports XRP. And so when I see stories like this, one of the first things that I think is this is one more thing. And I get to say that all the time because there's always incredible stuff happening in the XRP ecosystem. But it's just one more thing that will help to ensure the long-term viability of XRP and the XRP ledger. You keep seeing everything go in the right direction and expanding. This is what you want. Piece reads as follows. Garanti BBVA, the second largest private bank in Turkey, has expanded its crypto mobile app offering to include XRP. But folks, I thought that XRP was going to go to zero. Banks would never embrace XRP for any purpose, right? Isn't this what we were told? And actually, it was so funny in 2017. People would say banks are never going to use XRP. And then in the next breath, they'll be saying, XRP's the banker's coin. I'm like, freaking idiots. Which is it then? The banks are embracing it, so it's a banker's coin, or the banks will never use it, so it's not the banker's coin. You idiots. My God. It's completely absurd, but don't expect a lot of deep thinking from people that are so stupid to think that there's just going to be one coin to rule them all. You unsophisticated dolt. Come on, man. Anyway, the prominent Turkish bank disclosed this move in a recent notification accessible via its official website, noting it now provides services for XRP. XRP community figure Wrath of Kahneman drew public attention to the development in a Wednesday post on X. And so here was the official note, the press release, if you will. And it was actually from September 19th, but it wasn't until Wrath of Kahneman pointed this out just the other day that it began to be well known and circulated throughout the XRP ecosystem. So I'm glad we got the sleuths out there because it's not that uncommon to see something that's pretty noteworthy like this kind of fly under the radar. Because, yeah, they put it in a press release, but, until somebody from the community happens to come across as, we don't, or crypto media picks it up, and sometimes that happens too. If that doesn't happen, then we just don't know about it. So luckily he came across this here, but it's pretty damn cool. Anyway, in the announcement, Garanti BBVA mentioned its ongoing effort to integrate new cryptocurrencies into its mobile app. Now it includes XRP, which the Turkish bank described as a crypto asset with one of the largest markets. Damn straight. Notably, in this latest round of integration, the bank also disclosed the addition of Arbitrum, one of the top 50 crypto assets in the market. Following this latest move, XRP and ARB joined existing supported crypto assets like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Avalanche, Chili's baby back ribs, and USD coin, a stable coin. So it's nice, and without XRP having legal clarity, I don't know. I mean, I understand that they're in Turkey, so maybe this is something that would have happened anyway. But I still kind of wonder, in terms of like believing that there is some sort of future because of the dominance of U.S. capital markets. I can't help but wonder, even in some other geographic regions, if that's something that would have been in their minds. And I'm not unfounded in stating that. In fact, there are cryptocurrency exchanges outside of the United States that delisted XRP after the SEC sued. And I'm talking exchanges that didn't have a presence in the United States at all. So I don't know what their thinking was. I don't know if they were thinking about expanding to the United States. So preemptively, they were just like, let's get rid of this thing. I have no idea. But stuff like that does happen. I mean, it has happened. It literally has happened. But look, XRPs, it just continues to get adopted. More exposure. It's just the people that say XRP is going to zero. It's not. I don't know what your malfunction is, but the rest of the world disagrees with you. Look at the totality of global speculators that have kept XRP in the top 10 coins by market cap for its entire existence despite the SEC onslaught, and you're going to tell me with a straight face that there's not something to this. Well, I'll tell you what, even if you wholeheartedly believe that, thankfully, the retail speculators the world over disagree. And that's what actually matters. That's the wisdom of the entire world. It doesn't matter what any one individual thinks, but collectively, my God, it's incredibly telling. Then we have this. Expert says Ripple stablecoin launch is very close as minting activity surges. So this is cool. I'm looking forward to this because this is something that will absolutely, it's one more thing that will help to ensure the long-term viability of XRP and the XRP ledger. And I understand that it's being minted on multiple chains, but one of them is the XRP ledger, and there, XRP is required for that to happen, and it's also required for transactions to occur. So it's additional utility specifically for XRP. If stablecoins are useful, then XRP is useful because it can't exist on the XRP ledger without that. It's one more thing, but you put it all together, and it just becomes crystal clear. This thing is here to stay. I mean, if it's not here a decade from now or 2 decades from now, I mean, I guess I lock it to happen from them, but happen, over that time period, okay, fine, if something happens, we'll talk about it. But up to this point, it is not reasonable, in my estimation, to think that XRP won't be, based on all available public information today and where everything's going, it's not reasonable to think that XRP won't be, it's not reasonable to think that XRP will not be one of the winners. I mean, it has been for over a decade now. I think it's going to continue to. I mean, set aside a price from that. I think the market's going to figure out this market cycle. XRP's been undervalued, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, Peace reads as follows. The launch of the RLUSD stablecoin from Ripple draws closer as minting on XRPL and Ethereum intensifies. Ripple appears to be nearing the launch of its RLUSD stablecoin, as recent activities on the XRP ledger and Ethereum blockchains suggest significant advancements in the stablecoin's testing phase. The latest developments follow a notable pattern of increased minting activity, drawing attention to the stablecoin's imminent release. VET, a prominent XRPL validator, recently highlighted these developments, indicating that the stablecoin's debut could be close. And here's the actual post that they're referencing from VET, which reads as follows. And I like the last line in this, actually. So here's what he wrote. I have been monitoring RLUSD activity closely. The past couple mints are not following the same pattern time and days. Testing activity is increasing. Maybe a launch on XRP Ledger and ETH is coming closer. Anyway, a mint of 589 RLUSD on the XRP Ledger would fulfill the prophecy. So I would love to see that. 589 XRP, yay, 589, except for its RLUSD, actually. That would be kind of comical. I mean, hell, I don't think they're going to do that, despite it'll be a missed opportunity for an excellent joke. But I don't know if you guys know this. I mean, probably a lot of you do, at least if you're on social media platform X. Brad Garlinghouse follows 589 people on X, specifically 589. That's it. And so if he wants to follow somebody else, then he's got to stop following somebody. I just think it's hilarious. Brad, that's the CEO of Ripple. He's just doing a 589 joke. You got to love it. I'm glad he's got a sense of humor. That's good. Anyway, Peace continues. According to VET, the timing and volume of recent mints deviate from previous patterns, indicating an intensified testing phase. Recently, the most significant minting activity occurred on the Ethereum blockchain, where Ripple minted 5,515 RLUSD tokens on September 25th. This raised the total circulating supply to 6,028 tokens. This batch, the largest since the project's inception in late August, aims to evaluate RLUSD's performance on both the Ethereum and XRP ledger networks. Data from Etherscan also confirmed an earlier mint of 485 tokens before this larger issuance. So this is something that's going to help Ripple to create, well, a brand new revenue stream, and it's early enough along in the existence of this nascent asset class. And I know it's been around 15 years, but I still consider it early on. I mean, it's minuscule. It's not even clear which tokens are going to be winners, broadly speaking, even though I think XRP seems obvious. And so it's early enough on for Ripple to just dominate, and they have a veritable war chest financially. So, I mean, if anybody's going to make this work, and with the reputation that they have, I understand that the Bitcoin maximals hate them, but if you're talking about adults in the room, they have a good reputation among those. And I think that there's going to be a lot of entities out there eagerly ready to adopt this upon launch. It's going to be great for the long-term viability of XRP. Again, XRP is required for this. And then we have this from the Daily Hodl. Crypto will continue to rally hard amid Fed rate cuts, says Coin Bureau's Guy Turner. But there's a catch. And so nothing against Guy Turner from Coin Bureau at all on a personal level. I do find that I very frequently disagree with his analysis. He also, in years past, has said some bogus, non-stuff, literally untrue stuff about XRP, and in particular years ago. I'm sure a lot of people weren't around for that or have forgotten it, but he said some nonsense. I'm not going to forget that. I remember. But, so I've corrected a lot of that over the years on my channel. But here, I actually do agree with a fair bit of what he said, but I want to opine on this because this question, it is a big question. It's widely discussed in the world of crypto. Are the rate cuts, I mean, is this something that's actually going to benefit us or is it not? And what about inflation? So my piece reads as follows. A widely followed crypto analyst that the digital assets industry says that the digital assets industry will continue to thrive despite the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates. And by the way, I want to pause here to note, again, the referencing Guy Turner here. He has the largest cryptocurrency YouTube channel on the planet, literally. Anyway, in a new video update, Guy Turner, the host of Coin Bureau, tells his 2.52 million YouTube subscribers that small cap stocks and crypto assets will continue to surge as the Federal Reserve continues to cut rates. Quote, short-term, rate cuts are likely to boost the markets, particularly small cap stocks as they are the most sensitive to interest rates. The same is true for cryptocurrency. Particularly altcoins, which seem to be highly correlated to small cap stocks. This is why crypto has been rallying hard with altcoins leading the way and why it will continue so long as the Fed keeps cutting rates. End quote. However, Guy cautions that his view only applies to the short term as rate cuts in the long run will only rekindle inflation. And he said, quote, this bullish scenario only applies to the short term. In the longer term, the Fed's rate cuts risk reigniting inflation, which in turn risks sending interest rates higher, end quote. Okay, that's not sufficiently in depth. So look, Guy says that the rate cuts risk reigniting inflation. And so while it's true, this may ultimately result in increased inflation over a long period of time, this will not, in and of itself, result in the 10% plus inflation that we saw in recent years. And why? Well, because the reason we had inflation over 10% is that the government printed the dollar into oblivion. If we're not going to be printing the same trillions of dollars that we did during the pandemic, then the outcome will be different. Now, look, I understand the dollar still being debased. Don't get me wrong. Of course it is. But it was that on steroids, though. So unless that comes back, it's not going to be the same if you let enough time pass. Not literally the same. Not in terms of degree. But yes, of course, if you have a powerful economy in any given moment in time, like for instance, use the 90s as an example. Markets doing well, economies running hot, and what did the Fed do? As a result, to prevent inflation from getting out of control, they increased the federal funds rate, the interest rate. And then, of course, that slows the economy. And, of course, bad economic bad economics result in a way. I mean, if you're losing your job or fewer people getting hired, I mean, that's not good for the citizens, but you do slow down inflation. So that is the act. That's intentionally what the Fed is doing, as perverse as it may sound. That's what they're doing. They're juggling, employment versus the actual the more monetary side of it, which is, inflation. They're juggling these two things, and they impact each other, right? And so anyway, in the mid '90s, the Fed they did increase interest rates briefly, and so it tamped down inflation. The market did not crash. So it is not the case that every single time there's the Fed cuts rates, it's not the case that every single time you see some sort of crash. If there's some sort of disaster thing like the dot-com boom and bust, the great financial crisis, the pandemic, in those instances, yes, there were rate cuts and there were crashes correlating with that. But outside of disasters like that, that's not what happens, actually. If you're not going to see some major recessionary environment, then no, actually you don't. So I'm just saying here, as far as the idea of these rates creeping back up, I mean, yeah, if you have a really powerful economy, that can happen. There's too many dollars chasing too few goods. I mean, that's inflation, right? But I'm just saying, without the same money printer go burr stuff from several years ago, it's not going to be the same in terms of degree. That's the part that. But other than that, I actually agree broadly with a lot of the stuff that he said here, which is nice because I very frequently disagree with him. But I wanted to opine on this because, again, it's a topic that is frankly of crucial importance to anybody that's investing in pretty much anything, especially the world of crypto. But it certainly is possible, despite the fact that we just had this Fed rate cut. Unless you really believe that in short order, the economy's just going to be tanking. No, historically the answer is no. That's not what happens. You don't see some sort of dramatic tanking of markets when the rate is cut, unless it's that type of environment. So if we look in hindsight, we're like, hey, there was this black swan. Okay, fine. Then I would agree, of course, because history would dictate that's what we should expect. Outside of that, no, we shouldn't actually. We shouldn't. We should be optimistic that this thing's going to just keep chugging along. Lots of reasons to be happy and excited about XRP and the world of crypto. This is an amazing time. We really are so close to this thing finally popping Q4. Almost there, folks. It's going to be a good one. That's my hope and expectations. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.